Hi, my name is Olivia Onyahara. I am an actor in the Nottingham Playhouse production of Pride and Prejudice.
Hi, I'm Ali Green. I'm the sign language interpreter for the show.
The show runs from Friday the 15th to Saturday the 30th of September. We have a captioned and British Sign Language interpreted performance on Wednesday the 27th of September at 7:45 p.m. Ali will be interpreting this. The performance is 2.5 hours long, including a 15-minute interval. Pride and Prejudice is one of the most famous love stories our country has ever produced. Yet the women don't work, the servants don't speak, and who cares how filthy rich Mr. Darcy is when he's so arrogant and rude? Regency England was a world where men had property, whilst women had smelling salts and piano lessons. Lucky them. This is a brand new comic adaptation by stand-up comedian Sarah Pascoe, with an original score from Emmy the Great and directed by Susanna Tresilian. Prepare yourself for a playful, truthful and occasionally disrespectful take on this brilliant novel. We are setting the play in 2 time periods. Austen's original Regency era for the story of Lydia Bennet and how she and Darcy fall in love, and also in modern day 2017. In the Regency period, we visit the Bennett home called Longbourn, the Bingleys' country house nearby in Netherfield, Lady Catherine de Bourgh's grand mansion, quite a distance from Longbourn, and of course, Pemberley in Derbyshire, Darcy's estate. In modern time, we see the schoolroom with teacher Elizabeth doing after-school work on Pride and Prejudice with 2 students, Kitty and Lydia. An editing suite where 2 editors, Graham and Mary, are deciding how to edit the film version of Pride and Prejudice, and a rehearsal room where we see the actors battle with understanding how and why people acted and reacted the way they did back in the olden days. There are 10 actors in this show playing 29 parts. Our costumes change when we swap characters. I will explain who these characters are and when they are played by the same actor. Mrs. Bennet is the absolute matriarch of the Bennet family. She has 5 daughters to secure marriages for. She will use all her wiles and her terrifyingly forceful personality in order to achieve that one goal. This actor plays 3 other characters: modern Mrs. Bennet, Lady Catherine de Bourgh, and the housekeeper who runs Pemberley for Mr. Darcy. Modern Mrs. Bennet is a confident, clever woman. She is the director of a play version of Pride and Prejudice. Lady Catherine de Bourgh is one of the most infamous and favourite characters in Austen's arsenal. She is a self-proclaimed king amongst women. Jane is the eldest of the 5 Bennet sisters at the not very old age of 22, and her beauty is commented on by many. She smiles a lot. The actor also plays modern Jane, an actress playing Jane in the production of Pride and Prejudice. She is easily distracted. Elizabeth is the second of the Bennet sisters, a maverick, a truth teller. She doesn't see why she should have to conform to social norms. Imagine a young woman in Regency dress, but wearing Doc Martens. That's the kind of spirit she has. This actor also plays teacher Elizabeth, who is a modern-day teacher, the type we all loved. Mary is the 3rd sister and the least engaged in social niceties. Happy in her own world, she really perks up when animals or envelopes are involved. This actor plays 3 other characters: Mrs. Hurst, Mr. Bourgh, and modern Mary, a sassy young film editor whose relationship with her colleague, Graham, might be more complicated than first thought. Mrs. Hurst is the elder married sister of Mr. Bingley. She is a member of high society and looks down upon anyone who is not. Mr. Bourgh is the sickly only daughter of Lady Catherine, promised to Mr. Darcy. Kitty, the 4th Bennet sister. She wants to go to balls and have fun, preferably with lots of soldiers. This actor also plays 4 other characters: modern Kitty, Charlotte Lucas, modern Charlotte, and Miss Georgiana Darcy, who is Darcy's younger sister. Georgiana is looking for friendship and admires Elizabeth's confidence and bravery. Modern Kitty is a school student studying Pride and Prejudice and enjoys challenging her teacher on the book. Charlotte Lucas is the Bennet's neighbour and Elizabeth's oldest friend. She is 29, which in Austen's day means she was heading for spinsterhood and desperate to get married. Modern Charlotte is an actress playing Charlotte Lucas in a production of Pride and Prejudice. Lydia, the character I play, is the youngest, cheekiest, most flirtatious, and arguably the best, of the Bennet sisters, always looking for fun. I play 3 other characters: modern Lydia, Miss Bingley, and Mrs. Gardiner, who is sister-in-law to Mrs. Bennet. She's kindly, warm, and quite well off. Modern Lydia is the other school student studying Pride and Prejudice for her GCSEs, shocked at the antics of the women in the olden days. Miss Bingley is Mr. Bingley's youngest sister, very proper, very proud, and loves being part of high society. We think she probably hopes very much to marry Mr. Darcy. Mr. Darcy is a wealthy gentleman who owns a large estate called Pemberley in Derbyshire, England. He is widely regarded as proud, rude, and a very disagreeable man. He only seems to have one friend, who is Mr. Bingley. Mr. Bingley is a wealthy young gentleman who has purchased the nearby estate of Netherfield and become an exciting prospect for the Bennet sisters, especially Jane. Good-natured and well-mannered, everyone loves Mr. Bingley. This actor also plays Mr. Collins, a socially awkward vicar under the patronage of Lady Catherine de Bourgh, a very distant cousin of Mr. Bennet. Laws in those days mean that on Mr. Bennet's death, the family home, Longbourn, will go straight to Collins and not to Mr. Bennet's daughters. Mr. Wickham is a member of a military unit stationed in Meryton who charms the Bennet sisters with his charisma and excellent manners. This actor also plays 2 other characters, modern Wickham and Mr. Gardiner, who is Mrs. Bennet's sensible and intelligent brother. He is a humble man, but presents himself in a gentlemanly and respectable manner. Modern Wickham is a vain, self-obsessed, and perhaps not very emotionally intelligent actor playing Wickham in the production of Pride and Prejudice. And finally, Mr. Bennet, an affable yet sometimes sarcastic man. He has chosen to relinquish his responsibilities and be entertained by his wife and daughters, rather than steer them to a more secure future. This actor also plays Graham, a film editor, whose relationship with his colleague Mary is complicated. Jane Austen completed Pride and Prejudice in her early teens, but the manuscript got rejected by a publisher, and it wasn't until 1809 that Pride and Prejudice was presented to the world in its final form. The play is based during the Napoleonic War, which you'll hear referenced a couple of times. Generally, in Austen's work, she is often critical of the prejudices and assumptions of upper-class England. Jane found fun in writing about the different classes within her society, which is why some people today find her novels such a joy to read, as they can relate to the social class divide within our society. This is not a musical, but there are songs and orchestration created by Emmy the Great, a popular young singer-songwriter. The music throughout is performed by the actors, and sometimes Mary or Kitty play the piano. Everything else is pre-recorded. There are 4 songs performed by the actors: Old Woman, Don't Judge Us, Boys and Books, and Happy Ending Song. Happy Ending Song is the closing song of the play and reflects on the characters' endings. The song starts with Mrs. Bennet expressing her joy as she now has 3 daughters out of 5 who are married. That's everything I have to say about the show. I hope this has been interesting and useful, and that you're going to be able to come and see the show. We will have Ali interpreting on the 27th of September along with captions. When you purchase your tickets, our box office staff can direct you to the best seats for seeing the interpreter and captions. The theatre is also fitted with a hearing loop, and our friendly front of house staff are happy to help in any way during your visit here. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you at the Playhouse very soon.